As we plan out to where a scene where Monk Fauna is having a practice battle with a huge fighting type here of Hariyama, as Paul is attempting to train his Monk Fauna the basics of fighting type moves, but to Paul's surprise that Monk Fauna already learns a pretty good fighting type move already with a power-up punch, and Paul is simply impressed that Monk Fauna isn't slacking in his training, which actually gives Paul some praises to the little Mon Pokemon, which gives Monk Fauna a sudden feeling happiness for that his trainer noticed its growth and very appreciated. But unfortunately, it's Paul we're talking about, as Paul quickly still not impressed enough for Monk Fauna. Even though he is able to access the move, it's still not a full master of it, and that's what Paul is trying to get Monk Fauna to do, is he attempt to master Power Up Punch with his other fighting type, learning the very basics. But even though it's a practice battle, it's still a very heavy battle because of leaving both trained to be very exhausted. And once Paul attempted for those two to take a break, but once Monk Fauna looks to the other side of the battle, that Electabuzz and Tornadus are also having a practice battle, but Paul noticed Electabuzz seems to be falling behind slightly, but thanks to Electabuzz's raw power of talent, is able to manage to impress Paul enough. But Paul points out if Electabuzz doesn't takes the training seriously, there will be a huge repercussions, and he might be the one that received the harsh training when Monk Fauna attempted to enter Blazier. And this actually gets Electabuzz a bit worried, and remembering the flashback that how it attacked Chimchar, and looking back to the monkey, Monk Fauna seems to grin at it, and he can already imagine how Monk Fauna could attack Electabuzz here, and attempting to not go into that vivid future, Electabuzz seems to pick up his training a bit and taking it a much more serious approach here. And Paul notices and quickly realizes he already knows that Monk Fauna and Electabuzz doesn't like each other, but he quickly noticed that he could use this to its advantage on training here and having another grade added. But we don't focus Paul as much as we flash back to where Ash and Nigel are having their own sort of training here. Ash is attempting to train Turtwig to learn a move, and much more earlier than the original, where Turtwig already knows how to execute Energy Ball and is attempting to learn and master up the move, and thanks to the other Pokemon breeds helping out the training process, as also Dawn and Paul are also practicing and training their own way, as Dawn attempted to learn a new move so that she could use it for her performance in the contest hall, and Brock is studying medicine with Krogan here. But unfortunately, when Flip-Flop shuts out a powerful bubble beam towards the forest and accidentally hits a Pokemon, and Dawn quickly says sorry out there, but unfortunately the attack seems to tick off a very fire Pokemon and launches towards Piplup and attempting to hit it with a powerful fire punch. And Dawn simply tried to apologize to the fire Pokemon, but its rank is too focused on Piplup and attempting to attack with another fire punch, and Brock attempted to commands Krogan to block the attack with break it, but Magma is simply too strong and overpowers it with its fire punch, and this gets as noticed. And in notice, this fire Pokemon seems to be very strong, as Ash simply sends out Turtwig and Blizzard to battle, knowing that Turtwig might have a rougher time with Magma, so he commands for Blizzard to shot it down with a powerful water gun, but to Ash's surprise, Magma simply took the damage and in return unleashes a powerful flamethrower towards Blizzard. But luckily, Blizzard quickly bounced back with a powerful sonic boom, which does do some damage to Magma, but unfortunately one Blizzard attempted to use a powerful aqua jet towards Magma. Magma is simply charging for another puncher, but this isn't Fire Punch, it's actually Thunder Punch, as Magma do significant damage to Blizzard, and Blizzard actually has to stand back and worry that it might be knocked out from this, and Ash is surprised that this Magma learns electric type move, and Ash seems to get giddy on wanting to battle even more. And Turtwig even steps up that he even wants to battle this Magma, which gets Ash a bit surprised but excited as he commands Turtwig to practice that move like earlier with a powerful energy ball, and Magma attempted to block the way with its Thunder Punch, but unfortunately the energy ball is simply too great for Magma to avoid it and took the damage from it. Not only that, Turtwig seems to launch a powerful Razor Leaf after Razor Leaf, doing critical damage, and Magma attempted to use a flamethrower to stop the Razor Leaf, but unfortunately Turtwig simply goes in with a powerful tackle attack, and this tackle seems to dazzle with Magma for the moment, and Ash quickly realized that Magma will not stop attacking until it's physically stopped. Having no other trace that Magma might knock out both of his Pokemon, Ash attempted to throw his Pokeball. After a few minutes, the Pokemon simply stopped shaking, notifying that Ash caught a Magma, and Ash quickly picks up his Pokeball. As we pass through a couple of months, we find out that a bunch of gliders and one powerful Gliscor seems to rampaging through the city. And luckily enough, our heroes Ash, Brock, and Dawn, like in the original, helps out on trying to lure them away from the city by luring them with food. But unfortunately, the flying Pokemon seems to caught on their plan, and they refuse to leave the city because it's much more easy to get food, and wild Pokemon don't appear in the city, meaning they don't need to fight for the food, meaning they prefer to live in the city. Luckily, the officers and the other chasers does their best to hold them off as Ash and Brock and Dawn send out their Pokemon to battle, and unfortunately Ash's Pikachu isn't capable of shooting them down with Thunderbolt because of their ground typing, which be annoying. The only Pokemon that Ash has effective against it is Weasel, but unfortunately there are just way too many of them, and not to mention they're using the flying capabilities on knocking a few of their Pokemon, and the only Pokemon left that Ash really tried to is using Staravia to handle Gliscor, but unfortunately Gliscor's evolution and battle experience with wild Pokemon allows it to defeat some of Ash's Pokemon except for one, a very tough turtle Pokemon, Turtwig. It defended off the Gliscor, and like in the original, he would have used Energy Ball here, but since Turtwig already learns it, it's going to use Energy Ball to great effect by shutting down Gliscor, and it managed to affect Gliscor long enough for the rest of the Pokemon and the other trainers to push them off. But unfortunately, the one Pokemon that they really need to take out is the leader, which is Gliscor, and unfortunately Gliscor managed to get it away by using a powerful Rock Slide, and unfortunately Turtwig is pretty damaged from Gliscor, and the rocks are trying to fall on top of it, but in his ashy way trying to save Turtwig by trying to use his own body to protect himself from the falling rocks. But since Turtwig doesn't want to see his trainer, aka Ash, doesn't want to get help, it forces to evolve to protect Ash in the situation, allowing it to evolve into a Grata by learning a brand new move to order it to protect Ash, learning Earth power to able to destroy the flying rocks and manage to protect them. And Ash in a stunt amaze and suddenly forgot to chase her Gliscor and just play is focusing on Grotto's evolution as we plan back to the flying scorpion trying to run away, but unfortunately it gets attacked by a very large honk crow and a very sneaky Pokemon Weaver, showing that Paul has been stalking this Pokemon in particular because it noticed it held on pretty well against a bunch of trainers. Not only that, it seems to be the leader, meaning that this Pokemon seems to be a bit smarter, and that's what Paul needs, a stronger and smarter Pokemon here, and he wants to capture Gliscor. And it played out pretty in the region thanks to Weaver's ice typing, allowing Paul to capture pretty easily. And unfortunately, Paul did capture Gligar, but one particular trainer seems to caught Paul, and Paul seems to know this trainer, meaning Ash just witnessed Paul manage to capture it. And Ash doesn't want to admit that he's grateful that Paul managed to get rid of Gliscor, but unfortunately it's Paul that Ash is talking, so he refuses to say thanks to it, but he does say regardless. But Paul seems to push Ash away and simply walk past Singer. It simply said, I didn't want to help the city, it's just that Gligar is a very strong Pokemon that I need to capture. And Ash doesn't want to hear anything else from Paul, and just glad that Paul is already leaving. As we go to a few days in, Ash has finally had some time to properly train his new Pokemon on it, Magma. He quickly found out that Magma is a quite stubborn Pokemon. It took a while for it to listen to Ash, but Magma seems to respect Ash because it did defeat it with Turtwig, and because Magma will listen to Ash. But unfortunately, if Magma gets too grumpy, it will get aggressive towards the Pokemon that is sparring match against, which so happens to be Wizard. It doesn't appreciate that it keep getting hit by water type move, and it doesn't seem like to like the water. And Wizard doesn't help either because it keep boasting that he's much more stronger than last time, which makes Magma and Breezer not so close friends, meaning Ash will have a harder time in his hands. But he does find out that Magma, even though if you go past his aggression and stubbornness, it's a quite strong Pokemon that Ash managed to get. Magma is so strong that it managed to keep up with Pikachu, and that surprised Ash of all things. But there's one issue that he quickly found out, Graver. He quickly realized that he can't use the same tactic like he did with other battles because Graver has gotten much more heavy, and because of it, he can't rely on its speedy tactic, meaning Graver will have a much harder time because Ash found out that Graver could not outspeed Breezer here because last time it was a Turtwig. Turtwig could easily outrun Breezer, and this might be a huge problem. But it took a while for Ash and Gravel to find a way to get a new strategy, and thanks to Barky's knowledge of having tanky Pokemon and slow ones, it allows Gravel and Ash to find a way to pass around the speed problem. And because the Ash doesn't focus on Chimchar because he doesn't have it, Ash will really focus on Gravel's growth here, which might be a good thing because the next battle might be unexpected. Ash is training the rest of his Pokemon, and just like in canon, Ash won't use his Pokemon Magma, and Magma will play the role of Gligar, getting upset by this and quickly ran in the forest, while Ash and the gang will quickly follow it, and unfortunately Magma bumps into a very familiar trainer, Paul. And this, not only that, it seems like he's busy doing his own sort of training with Monkfauna, and seeing Monkfauna gives him a satisfaction of happy that Monkfauna seems to be doing okay, but not too bad. He's quite annoyed that Ash just appeared when he's doing a hard trial training with his Monkfauna, and seeing that Paul is seeing a Magma, thinking that Ash
has caught in a fire type, and to Paul's knowledge, it seems like it's a strong fire type. And Paul, looking at Monk Fauna, wants to quickly have a quick thinking, and Paul begins to upbraid Ash how bad of a trade and of how pathetic it is. And this causes Ash to repeat then if it's so tough, how about we have a battle? And this is where Ash enters Paul's trap because he wanted to get Ash agitated to have a Pokemon battle. And since Magma bumped into Paul, Ash decided to use Magma, and Magma seems to be quite happy towards it. Monkfauna seems to be ready to step out, but Paul quickly holds Monkfauna that he wants to try something new here. So he sent out his newly captured Pokemon Gliscor, and this played out at the same way in the end, but even though Magma is at a disadvantage against Gliscor, but luckily enough the fire Pokemon managed to put down Gliscor with a powerful flamethrower, and this is what gets Paul quite excited. But to Ash's surprise, one Gliscor is knocked out. It doesn't anger Paul in a sort of way. He simply shrugs and just returns Gligar. But it doesn't stop it from saying how pathetic it is to lose a Pokemon that he had advantage with. And this gets Ash to get up angry at Paul and quickly says that Gliscor tried its best, and Paul simply replied, it tried its best, but unfortunately it did not do the job that I wanted. But luckily, Paul glances to Monkfauna, and Monkfauna seems to know what his trainer is thinking, as Paul sends Monkfauna in the battle. And this is perhaps Ash's first battling Monkfauna while Paul is in the control. And once the two fire Pokemon clash one another with a powerful flamethrower respectively, and there's a big difference. Monkfauna has been gotten much stronger lately, and not only that, power up punch seems to get in the gap wider and wider, because every time the two Pokemon clash fists with Thunder Punch and Power Up Punch, but unfortunately Monkfauna seems to get much stronger in the heat of the battle, allowing Monkfauna to knock out Magma with a powerful deck combination, knocking out Magma. And Ash quickly goes to Magma trying to check it's okay, but Magma simply pushes away Ash and simply glares at Monkfauna before it simply passes out, forcing Ash to recall Magma back. And Paul simply replied, you have one more Pokemon left, make it count, because if you don't, I'm just gonna walk away of this waste of a time here. And Ash remembers the memories that Paul managed to get Monkfauna's place to come out, and thinking Breezer wouldn't do the job done, but all of a sudden Gravel is stepping up begging for Ash to battle for him, and unexpectedly from Gravel, Ash simply agrees and sends out Gravel. But to Paul, this seems to be the most stupidest thing Ash could have done, sending out a Grass-type against a Fire-type. But regardless, Paul is gonna make Ash regret sending out Gravel, commanding for Monkfauna to power up with a powerful flame wave, but likely to Paul's surprise, Gravel simply uses Earth power to dig up Monkfauna and taking a huge damage from Earth power. This leads for a surprise, but luckily Monkfauna seems to kick up and unleashing a powerful power-up punch after another. And it seems like Ash attempted to dodge it, but accidentally remembering that the old strategy isn't gonna work out, so Gravel in midway has to quickly adjust to Ash's fumbling, and Paul quickly notices and realizing that Ash is out-tacted of using Gravel's speed won't work. So after learning that information, Paul takes the advantage because Ash and Gravel are trying a new defensive strategy, and Paul will take that advantage because he's an expert on that. And once Gravel attempted to distance himself away, unleashing an energy ball to Monkfauna's surprise, Paul quickly counters with a powerful day, and Monkfauna managed to cover the ground. And not only that, once it pops out, it quickly fires a powerful flame ball. But unfortunately, Monkfauna has gotten a bit too comfortable and especially getting a bit cocky, which is going to be its downside because Paul quickly noticed Monkey should have pulled back, but unfortunately Ash managed to call Gravel with a powerful earth power, and this move seems to do a lot of damage to Monkey and actually stumble up actually is nearly knocked out, but quickly stopped himself remembering from last time it yells at him when he was a Chimchar that he could not win against Turtwig the last time. This made Monk to get anger. And not only that, it seems like Paul is pushing, like, explaining if Monkford doesn't win, that he's going to throw him and kick him out of the party, and should have known better to leave a weakling out of his team. And this made Ash very angry towards Paul, was thinking that Paul is just yelling Monkford for no other reason. But unknowingly, Monkford seems to activate its blaze ability, and it simply is growling at the grass-type Pokemon like a vicious whatever, and Paul seems to grin at this, and just cause wild move flame wheel, and all of a sudden Monkford transforms into this huge blazing of death as he quickly charges towards Growl, and unfortunately Growl could not able to defend this attack, and forcibly taking all the damage, simply knocked out by Monk for now. And Ash quickly goes to Gravel, checking it's okay, but quickly looks at Monkford is still in a rage for rage, and it looks like it's about to attack Gravel and Ash, but luckily Paul quickly managed to yell and to stop Monkford. And for the first time, Monkford seems to listen to Paul and quickly walks away, going to Paul's side. And for a few minutes, Monkford seems to open his eyes, realizing that it's being snapped out of its blaze ability, and Paul seems to grin at this. As you can see, Ash, this is the result thanks to me. This only took a couple of weeks to get to Monkford to listen, and you're just struggling on using Grav for how pathetic you are, and that's where we're gonna end the episode there.